Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am, as always, Darth Devious, bringing you another video review, this time from Batman Arkham City. It's Catwoman. And this was something that was given to me from my friend Alan at the Digital Realm Models and Toys. I am working on a project for him, and this was part of his little payment to me for that. Because it's not a difficult project, so this is well worth, you know, what the time it's going to cost me to put together the thing for him. So, we're going to take a look at her. You see her in her package. She looks really cool. There's something I'm going to point out in when we do close-ups and things like that of her face that just amused me. But otherwise, she looks pretty cool in the packaging. You see there's Arkham City in the background and the tower from the game that you had to climb up at some point in time. On the back, you have other figures in the line. You have the Riddler, there's Catwoman, Batman's detective mode, which I just didn't care for, Hush, and Jervis Tetch, the Mad Hatter. Some of these I can find at the comic book shop, some of these I can't. I don't know. But the game's pretty cool. If you haven't played either of the Arkham games, and I know Arkham Origin, probably by the time this comes out, this review goes up, Arkham Origin will already be out. So, I probably will be playing that at some point in time in the near future. So there you go. I'm going to free her from her plastic prison, which, if you noticed, is shaped like Batman's cowl. But we're going to get her out of there. Alright? Then we'll take a look at her, and that'll be it. Be right back. Alrighty, here's Catwoman out of her plastic prison. And she has a nice wash on her that picks out a lot of the details. It's not that she's just in this black outfit. There's a lot of gray highlights on it. Really nicely done. There's some silver on like her hands and the buckles and things like that. And, you know, it's nice to see that they didn't overly endow her like other versions of this particular Catwoman have been. Though still, it's a very suggestive outfit. And you can see up on top of her head are her goggles. They don't move. They're part of the design, and that's how they're going to stay. In the back, she looks pretty good. Her one hip is at a slight outward angle, which gives her a nice nice pose, but nothing too major. Articulation is lacking. This is, you know, like many of the other specialty DC figures, like, you know, the Arkham Asylum line and things like that, and like the Green Lantern lines and things like that. The articulation is not on par with the DC Universe Classics figures. You get a lot more detail and a lot more of a realistic look, but you lose it with articulation. Now, shoulder is on pin and socket. It moves out. Has a decent elbow. It's only got a little bit of a bend. It moves here at the glove joint here. Same thing with this hand. Her whip is attached to her hip, so you're not going to get that to move. Her hips move forward and back. That's about it. Almost 90 degree at the knee. Her boot swivels, which I do appreciate that they didn't leave this as a high heel, that they left it, they gave it some stability there. And her head is on a slight ball joint, so you can get some movement. So yeah. Getting her to stand isn't, you know, it's not super difficult, but she does have a tendency to want to fall back just a little bit. Now her bolo here, I managed to get it into her hand, but the whole thing is this really soft rubber, and it was really hard getting it into her hand, so you got to be careful with that. I think I'm just going to leave that in there. And, you know, I can take her right hand and you can make it look like she's grabbing at her whip, which is kind of cool, I guess. Alright. Now I'm going to come up and I'm going to zoom in on her face, and you're going to see one thing I have a problem with this figure. Let's get a little light on this situation. Yeah, her eyes, whoever painted her eyes must have been mad that day or something. They're looking in two completely different directions. One's looking up, one's looking down. And it almost ruins the complete look of this figure. I might be able to go in and touch that up myself. I'm going to try. It's not going to be easy on such a tiny scale. But if I can get, you know, just one of those pupils in a more realistic look, I'll be happy. So let's zoom back out. I'm going to show her off real quick with the Dark Knight himself, which is the only other figure I have from any of the Arkham lines, and this is my armored Batman from Arkham Asylum. And he looks pretty good with her, you know. And in the game, in Arkham City, you can play as both Batman and Catwoman. She has her own missions that she has to complete for the main storyline, as well as Batman. So seeing them together actually looks pretty good, and it's probably how I'm going to display them, is just together like that. Alright? Alright, so that's going to do it for this. Other than the problem I have with her eyes, if you want a decent version of Catwoman from the Arkham games, you can't go wrong with this. I mean, I know there's the PlayArts Kai version. I just think the PlayArts Kai version made her a little too busty. But that's my opinion. Not that there's anything wrong with busty women, it's just that her character in the game wasn't that well endowed as the PlayArts Kai version made her out to be. Anyway. So there you go. You guys all be good. I'll send the Dark Knight and his lady love Catwoman after you. Be good.